Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 203. It is Thursday. Here in Cincinnati, it's rainy. It has been raining all day. It's gray outside. There's been no peak of sunshine. So everything looks beautiful because it's green, but it's wet. It's wet and kind of just one of those gray days. Gray days outside. So I once again am recording later in the afternoon and just reflecting a lot on this topic that we're going to discuss today called cleaning house. So we have been in some sort of spring cleaning mode here, which I think is pretty typical of lots of people. When the seasons change, there's this tendency to want to shake out the cobwebs and open up the windows and the doors and get the energy moving, get things cleaned, have a fresh start as the spring season arrives. And so we have been doing a lot of that here at our home. And we had a new air conditioning unit put in a week ago. And today we had the telephone people over doing some wiring. And it's just been lots of activity and people in and out. And so what I was realizing today, that I'm sort of still meandering, muddling my way through a little bit, so we'll see how we complete it in this space together. I believe that we all have an energy field that is uniquely ours, and I talked about that in the Energetic Signatures podcast on Monday. There's a way that we flow and move energy in our own space, and we're very comfortable with the way that moves, and it's familiar to us. And as we remember that movement more and more, it strengthens and becomes more visible, and others around us can identify and feel what our unique energetic signature or pattern looks like. When we are in human bodies and moving in and out of communities and spaces and homes and activities and lots of places where other souls with energy moving are hanging out, sometimes the energy gets sort of mixed up, or others come into our energy field and we feel their emotions, or we feel their pattern or movement, and it kind of disrupts ours. It throws ours off a little bit. Some people have a very fearful approach of this, energy vampires. Someone's coming in and taking all of my energy, and then I don't have what is mine, or it's disrupting me. And I don't believe that. I believe we are always co-creating, and we are always responsible for our own energy space. So if someone's coming into your field, or as some would say, messing with you, it's because there's some subconscious permission that you've granted for them to do that, or they wouldn't be able to enter your energy field. And so a lot of what I do in my healing work and in meditations is guiding myself and others to be so solid in our own energy field that there isn't room for others to come in and disrupt what is comfortable for us, what is inherently our space. And we're so full of our own energy that we're actually radiating it outwards from us. We're expanding from a very strong, filled up, centered sense of self, radiating that out into the world and sending our vibration, our love, our feeling of calmness and confidence out into the relationships and the experiences around us. And so there isn't really room for someone to come in and do anything to us because we're full of ourselves. So what I do in my own practice is every day I have a meditation process that I move through that connects me to our earth and connects me to source and fills me up and clears out my chakras. And so I'm very accustomed or comfortable to what my energy feels like. And when something is in my space that doesn't feel familiar or known to me, I can usually identify what just shifted or what happened and clear that or push that energy back into its own field and out of my space. So, all of that to say, yesterday, today, even last week, I have been noticing how I've been feeling a little more on edge or not quite agitated. That's a really strong word, but there's just been an unfamiliar feeling that isn't my normal way of being. And today, I had that experience where I just had this irrational anger over ants that were coming in the window, which was so unexpected because ants, that happens. It's just part of life. And I just had this irrational, rah, what happened? It was just the not funniest, it was a really frustrating feeling that was out of proportion to the experience that was happening. And so when I sat down to do my meditation and prepare for this podcast, I was just feeling into that. What was that? Where did that come from? What is that about? And what I could see are external reflections of what's happening internally in my space. So this is where the title Clearing House or Cleaning House, whichever it is, comes from. So when we had the air conditioning unit put in, we had, people in and out of the house and doors open and closing and lots of energy moving. And then a new system put into our home that literally is pumping the air through our house, which holds it's the breathing mechanism of our home. And so I haven't really paid attention to that energetically. Is that system in alignment with the optimal health of all of those who live in this house? Are we energetically welcoming this new breathing apparatus into our physical structure of our life, our home? And this may sound crazy to some of you, but it's not. It's exactly how I've handled our water. Our water system, I have blessed and purified the way that water moves through our pipes and enters into our physical bodies. It's a conscious choice that I've made as the space holder for this home to bless the water. And I didn't bless the air, and we had a major shift in the structure of how air comes and goes through our house. And so I became aware of that in my meditation. Of course, all I have to do is just pause and notice that and clean the energy, bless it and purify the way the air is moving through our home. And then I saw this flash of an image of yesterday morning. Before I went to the hospital for our appointments, there was a car that ran off the ditch at the bottom of our home and landed literally in the creek at the bottom of our property at the entrance to our neighborhood. So, and there was no one there, and they had to tow the car out, and I don't know where all that stands, but a car literally ran into the energy field at the perimeter of our property, of our home. Highly unusual, never happened before since we've lived here. So that was another sort of alert, energetically something's a little bit off. The space that I'm holding is not as steady as it's been before. Today, when the person came to do the repair on our house, he walked in and forgot to put his little shoe things on, and there were footprints in mud straight through the middle of the living room to where he needed to go. And so I'm looking at the floor what? What just happened? And I said to him, I think you have mud on your shoes. So he apologized and walked back out, but there's another, literally like a pathway in my house of him bringing his energy in and planting it right into our home. So I went straight from that into the ants coming in the window, and it was this accumulation of lots of little external signs that when I sat down in my meditation were a clear awareness to me of anchor in the energy space that is your home. Clear out whatever is not in alignment with the optimal health and the optimal well-being of everyone who lives here. Tighten up the space. Clean the house. And we have been doing that physically, right? Cleaning out the rooms and opening the windows and, doing all the things that we do when seasons change. And I haven't done that energetically. And so now I have the awareness. And once we have the awareness, we can make the energetic change. So I share that with you because I feel so many of us are going through the similar processes, similar experiences, and we're attracted or magnetized towards reflections of that. So you hearing me share this is an awareness to you somewhere in your life, in your physical body, in your relationships, in your physical home, in your health, whatever it is, there is something in you that needs to have some energetic cleaning house and tightening of boundaries, not from a place of fear, from a place of I'm purifying this experience that I am in and expanding my energy all the way to the edges of my space. Right? This is a place for the optimal health and well-being of all who are here. So for our home, this is the place where we rest, rejuvenate, charge ourselves back up, so that when we go back out into the world, we are filled up and expressing the best versions of ourselves. So same for our physical body. Your message may be, do you need to clean the house that is your body? Do you need to clean your physical temple and move out some places that are a little muddy or not in the optimal alignment for how you want to move through this world? So there's a little work for me to do. I believe in saging. Some people like to call it feng shui, or there's all kinds of terms you can give it. But basically, I move through the house and around the perimeter of our home, and I use a sage stick and just clean the air, clean the vibration, and allow purification to happen. And sometimes that's through scent. Often I do it through sound. I'll play music, like really beautiful instrumental music, and allow the music to clean the energy of the house. So find what resonates with you. Get really still and centered, and find your match to whatever it is that you're hearing in what I'm sharing. And then clean house. Clean house. All right, we're moving into summer, and let's shift the vibration and expand our light, expand who we are here in this world. Thank you for tuning into this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me in aligning with the optimal health of your mind, body, spirit in the virtual community of Viv's Energy Gym. You can learn more at mysouljourney.com. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.